You know what's so sad and pathetic? This guy will not stop. Even after he got caught on my doorbell camera yesterday at 6 p.m., this fool decided to come back tonight at 12 o'clock midnight, 12:35 a.m. to be exact, and knock on my door again and walk away. I said, you got to be some type of sicko to just keep constantly nagging somebody and nigga knocking on top of that on somebody's door that you don't even know. You never spent a conversation with that person. You never told the person what you wanted. This has got to stop. I don't know what else to do. And when I contacted the police again, wasting resources apparently, taxpayer money, they said, well, unfortunately, if we cannot identify what apartment number he's in, and even though we know what he looks like, it's going to be the same situation over and over. Each time you dispatch us, we can't do anything since he's a resident and he lives here. Basically, what they said was until the leasing office evicts him from his property and trespasses him, they can't do anything. So I said, this is probably the 20th or 30th time that this man, who is clearly not in his right mind, has knocked on my door over a span of 5 days now, by the way, and walked away without saying nothing and laughing hysterically at himself. I don't even know if he's having a real conversation on the phone, because each time that he comes to my door, he spends about 30 seconds or less acting like he's on the phone with somebody, and I think he's talking to himself. He's really disturbed. He really needs help. And it's like you kind of want to feel sorry for him, but not really, because it's intentional. It's definitely intentional, trust me. Because when he recognized that I had this doorbell camera installed yesterday, when he came back around 6 o'clock, and it shocked him, it spooked him, he still came back. I really don't know what else to do. And then my parents, poor things, they're all the way down in Texas, and they're so stressed out and worried about my well-being and safety. They were like, you should contact the FBI. The FBI should be able to do facial recognition and recognize him. I said, the FBI is not going to do squat. Okay? It don't matter what you say, what videos you give them. They don't care. If it's not a terroristic threat, the FBI don't care. This is a local police issue. And until the leasing office does something to him to get him off this property, the police aren't going to do shit. And the sad part, y'all, I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, is that I found out in order for it to be deemed stalking behavior or harassment behavior in Henrico County, Virginia, they said that it literally has to be some type of physical bodily harm, like assault or attempted unaliving of the individual, for them to proceed with a civil matter such as a protective order. That's really sad. I said, I'm not even letting it get that far. I don't even open my door for this idiot. And you mean to tell me as many times he's knocked and never said anything and walked off and hysterically laughs at himself, you can't detain him? You can't question him? They're like, all we can tell him is just stop knocking. And if he continues to do it, then we'll be able to detain him. But we don't know what unit he's in, because every time we come here, he scurries away and runs inside of his apartment. We don't know what apartment number it is. Once the officer that's assigned to your case identifies the apartment unit with your leasing office, then we could probably do something. But we can't do anything yet because we don't know where he is. And they came here a little after 12:30. I want to say close to like 1 when they got dispatched. And they said they were going to walk around the premises and see if they see him, but they never came back here. They never called me, nor have they given me an update whether or not they seen him. So I just wanted to let y'all know, Virginia's fucked up. This is a fucked up state. I would think twice before you come to places like Richmond, specifically, where I'm at, because this may not be the place to be. I clearly got that the police don't care about your well-being and your safety unless you're getting your ass beat physically. And I'm not going to get my ass beat physically. If anybody's going to get their ass beat physically, it's the guy, the perpetrator, the suspect. But I'm not even going to go through all of that. I'm not going to open my door and fight with a nigga and struggle with him and tussle with him. I'm not about to do that. I'm too old for all of that. I'd rather just pop him and be gone. But even if I did that, like, it literally has to take an act of God for me to use deadly force. And according to the state laws, the only way you can use deadly force in the form of self-defense if they cross your threshold of your home, which means they kick in your door, physically breaking and entering to threaten your livelihood and your safety. Then you have the right to defend yourself. But unfortunately, he hasn't done that. And he knows that there's no cameras in his hallways. That's another thing that pissed me off about these nice-ass apartments. How y'all gonna have cameras in the leasing office, the common areas such as the gym and the damn business center where the working spaces are at, and all the exit doors to the stairwells and the parking garage, but you ain't got no cameras in any of the hallways where the residents actually live? That's why motherfuckers got doorbell cameras out here. I said, that's sad. I told the leasing person that was in charge, I said, look, I would highly suggest y'all get some cameras installed in the resident hallways, because that's not fair to the residents to feel safe. And then for you to suggest to get us to get doorbell cameras because y'all don't want to spend the money because y'all don't have the budget, so you say, to install cameras in the hallways, that's complete bullshit. I've looked up the property value of this building. This building is approximately worth over $70 million. They put a lot of renovations into this building when they built it. This is a fairly new built, property. They built it in 2022, by the way. This is not an old property, and it's luxury, high-rise, condo-style apartments, and they're not cheap. They're somewhat on the pricier side. You're looking at anywhere between $1,400 to $1,600 right now for a one-bedroom apartment here. It's not like I live in a hood. I live in the suburbs, white people neighborhood, and they clearly don't give a damn. They clearly don't give a damn. Unless it has something to do with their property, their assets, their amenities, their leasing office, their clubhouse, their gym, their pool lounge. They don't give a damn if it got something to do with a resident. They assured me that they would take this matter seriously, but they never said whether or not, or confirmed if they would trespass this individual. And even if they did trespass him, they would only be able to trespass this individual from contact with me, but I don't believe they will trespass him from the property. They would literally have to evict him at this point because this is out of hand. We are going on day 5 of a random black guy who I don't know, who I never said not one word to, knocking on my door, literally knocking on my door like a hoodlum and walking off. It's giving hoodlum activities. And I'm just like, I'm done. I'm not calling the police anymore because I'm just like, if y'all are not going to do y'all's jobs and actually find this man, even though I showed you a clear image like I showed y'all on TikTok and every other social media outlet online, it's like, what do you do? So it is what it is. He breaks down my door, I'll go down with the fight. And the only fight he's going to have is the Smith & Wesson that will have him undressing on the other side of his door. Because I don't fist fight. It's going to be a gunfight, unfortunately. But let's hope and pray it doesn't get that far down the road. Let's just hope and pray that he actually gets his ass kicked the fuck out of here. Because, again, I'm at a loss for words. I'm spent. I'm restless. I'm drained. And I don't know what else to do. But yeah, y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments about this, because this is some crazy shit. I have never been through anything like this in my life until I moved all the way out here to Virginia. And I was just like, I kind of low-key regret moving to the East Coast because this is a little crazier than I thought it was going to be. I expected to start over. I expected to, live a nice, quiet life in the burbs. I didn't expect any of this in this nice-ass neighborhood. This is really sad. Like, when I say it's nice, y'all, there are no winos. There are no crackheads. It's a big-ass shopping center across the street. Publix, Target, Kroger, Food Lion, every restaurant you can think of that's healthy, Kava, Chick-fil-A, Tropical Smoothie Cafe, like everything literally healthy, and vegan friendly is across the street. And yet I have to deal with a demonic spirit that lives in my building that won't leave me alone. And I never say anything to him, by the way. I don't make contact with him. I never open up my door. I never argue with him, and I never scream at him. I've only screamed at him once. That was last weekend. But I never said anything since he's been back. This is crazy. This is like some Fatal Attraction shit. Y'all, if y'all have any suggestions, feel free to let me know, because I'm done. Done.